So, welcome, guys. Today, for our STEM day, we're going to be learning about circuits, and we're going to be learning it with Minecraft Education Edition. So, circuits are pretty much what allow us to power our electronic devices. So, electronic devices, anything from your phone to your TV remote to a flashlight to your microwave, they all use a circuit to operate. So, your circuit can be pretty much broken down into four different parts. You have your power source, which supplies the power to the circuit. You have your wires, which take the power to your electronic devices and back. You have your component itself, which is what takes that electrical input into an output. And later on, we'll talk about one other thing called a switch. So to start, a power supply is pretty much what gives you that electrical current for that circuit. So your power supply in your phone would be like your phone battery. In your TV remote, it would be the AA batteries, or if you have a microwave, it would be the plug that your microwave is plugged into the wall. So when you have your power supply, you can see that the power is going from the power supply around the circuit and back. But when you don't have the power supply, you can see that there is no power going through and the light is off. So you need that power supply if you even want the circuit to work in the first place. So next we have our wires, and the wires are pretty much like travelers, which take that power supply and turn it and move it from the power supply to the components. So the wires are things out of metal like copper, and they take that electrical component, they conduct the electricity, and they take it to the component, and they take it from the component back to the power supply. So then we have our component, which is in this case would be a light or an LED, and the components are what take that electrical input and they convert it into something else. So they can take up in electricity and they put out light or heat or sound or motion. So components, like if we use like your phone, a component would be like the speaker on your phone. It would be the screen, which creates light, and also maybe in an actual flashlight, you have your power supply, the AA batteries, and then the obvious output for your flashlight would be the light that is created. So here we have pretty much the same circuit, but with one difference. Now we have a switch, and a switch is what lets us it lets us control the power to the component from the power source. You can see here, the power source is giving power to this wire right here. This is all on, but because this is open, the switch is open, the power can't get to here, and it can't control this LED. Once we close this switch, you can see that the power goes through, lets the LED, and completes the circuit. So when the switch is open, the switch is open, now there's no power, but when the switch is closed, the circuit is closed, and now there's power to the circuit. Like I was saying, there are a bunch of more complex circuits. Like your flashlight, for instance, it would be a pretty simple circuit because you only have a power supply, you have your switch, and then you have your light. But other things like your phone, they have a bunch of different other wires, a bunch of different other components, and a bunch of different other things. So here in this circuit, we have two switches, our power supply. We have a motor, which creates motion, and we have a speaker, which creates sound. You can see here it's all on right now, but we can turn it off with the switches and we can control each individual component. So like before, we have the power coming through. It's not going through because the switch is open. So once we close it, you can see the little music note. That means the speaker is on. And now the circuit for the speaker is on and running. We can also do the same thing with this switch for the motor. So you can see the power, the circuit is open because the switch is open, so the power isn't running through. But once we close that, you can see that the motor moves over there. You can see it again. So circuits can have a bunch of different components in one circuit, and they can make for some crazy devices like your phone, which is just a bunch of different other circuits working together to create all of its functions. So in summary, circuits are pretty much what allow electronic devices to operate. They can be very simple or very complex. Most circuits can be broken down into four different things. You have your power supply, you have your wires, you have your component, which would be an LED, a speaker, or a motor, and then you have your switch to control the power to those components. So thank you guys for listening. If you like this, make sure to like and share, and stay tuned for more from Montwood Robotics. Thank you.